Today we are going to discuss about how to it's an extension of polymorphism topic. uh, in previous sessions we had a discussion regarding how we can implement polymorphism. Now polymorphism means poly means many and morph means form. There we discussed that in case of structure and postural programming languages, one thing is used for one reason, but in the object-oriented programming paradigm, after understanding that limitations, if one thing is used for one reason, though you have a ample library support, but till then it become a limitation. And to overcome that limitations, okay, the object-oriented programming supporting languages provides the new concept, and that is called as polymorphism. Means in one scope of a program, you can write multiple definitions of by keeping one name of method name. That is called as method overloading. And then if you can write the multiple versions of the constructor, that become a constructor overloading. So method overloading, constructor overloading, these are the examples of polymorphism. But now in today's sessions we need to understand what is the difference between overloading and overriding, and like what do you mean by compile time polymorphism and what do you mean by runtime polymorphism. This is like this kind of conceptualizations what we are going to discuss in today's sessions, right? So first of all, I'll be sharing my screen and I'll be discussing with you. Okay, that is difference between overloading and overriding. Okay, now in case of overloading, multiple definition within a scope. It means what? One class definition with multiple method definition using one name, that is called as overloading. Overload, are you getting me? One class means within scope, if you have a multiple definitions, we already discussed this. Okay, one class, multiple constructors, that is again constructor overloading. But what do you mean by overriding then? Overriding means in case of inheritance, a base class having a same method, okay, and same method definition available in derived class, called as overriding. It means, as you know, the properties of base class get extended to the derived one. So due to inheritance, the property is already extended to the derived class, but derived class also having its own method, right? So it will receive two copies of same method name. One from the base class due to inheritance, and the second, it is having its own copy. And this concept is called as overriding. Are you getting me? Hello?
So please repeat once.
Yeah. Overloading means in one scope, means in one class, if you have a multiple definitions of one method name or multiple definitions of constructor which you already did, referring to the overloading. While implementing polymorphism, we write a add method multiple times. We write the maximum method multiple times. The average method multiple times means one method definition having multiple definitions by changing number of arguments, and that is within one scope, that is called as overloading. Overriding means if a base class having if a base class having a method, right? It is quite possible that base class also having a method, and the same method may be available in the derived class. Now, due to inheritance, there is a relationship between base class and derived class. Due to inheritance, the copy of base class is available in the derived. At the same time, derived class having its own copy, means the copy of that method available in the derived class by two sources. One, it is having its own method by the same name, and one he gets from extended base class. So that concept is called as overriding. How many of you understand? You getting me? That means, like, first of all, we need to understand the concept of overloading and overriding. Overloading means within one scope, if you have multiple method definitions or constructor definition, that is overloading. Overriding means if a base class having the same method, okay, and the derived class also having the same method, so one he will get that derived class will get the method definitions due to extension, and the second, it is having its own copy of that particular method, and that is called as overriding. Override and overload. Overload means one scope, multiple definitions. Override means in case of inheritance, if the base class also having similar properties and behavior, and that you are deriving and derived class having its own copy of it, and that is called as overriding. How many of you understand? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now the question arises.
Yes, sir.
Now the question arises that if a base class having a method available over there, why there is a need of another? Because you are writing a derived class. If a base class a method is available, and and the object of derived can very well refer the method belong to the base class, why it needs another definition, right? So why overriding is required? That is one question. So in to answer that particular thing, what I will do, as you know, let us understand base class is an abstract class. As you know, what is abstract class? Abstract class, a class which is having at least one method of abstract type. An abstract class is defined for not for instantiation, means you cannot create the object of this abstract class. Are you getting me? So abstract class is designed or defined for extension, and now you create a derived class which extends from base, right? And base class having an abstract method, and this abstract method is override, okay, in derived. What is overriding means? By using the signature of the abstract method which is defined in base, If you redefine it in derived class, it become overriding. How many of you understand? Abstract class provides you signature of the method. Abstract class is used for redefining. Abstract class is used for extension. Abstract class, you cannot create the instance of it. So most of the time abstract class provides you the abstract methods which you have to redefine in the derived class. Let us say, for example, public class my class extends applet. Now applet is an abstract class. You cannot create an instance of it. So while writing applet, what you are writing? Public white paint graphics object as an argument. This paint method, paint is an abstract method, which paint method is actually you take the signature from the applet class. Why I am saying paint is an abstract method? Because you cannot change the number of arguments. Public void paint, you cannot say public integer paint or public float paint or graphics g comma graphics integer a comma b comma c. No, signature has to be as it is taken from the abstract class, and you are defining the paint logic in your applet class. Are you getting me? That is called as method overriding. And the guys who don't know the applet, you know the overrided toString method. As you know, there is a string class in Java, and to convert any type of data to string type, or rather the object class in Java, and to convert the object type to string means conversion, typecasting, parsing. So in the object class of Java, which is a default class in Java, class is also a class and object is also a class. So whenever you create an object, by default it gets extended from the object class, and object class provides a method called as toString, public string to string. So whenever you want to create the copy of, or you want to print the copy of object, you want to convert the copy of object into the string, then you have to write the method definition called as public string to string in your class. So this toString method is actually belongs to the object class. In object class, it's an abstract method. You are overriding it to print the copy of your current object which you are defining, and that is called as overriding. How many of you understand? So the difference between overloading and overriding is, overloading means multiple definitions of one method within one scope. Method overloading, while doing method overloading, you have to change the number of arguments. You cannot keep the same number of arguments. But Java compiler is intellectual enough. If you give a call to any method, so it will check the if we found the multiple definitions of available definitions are available of one method, it will check the number of arguments, and by it will able to distinguish while giving to the call to that particular method. That is called as method overloading. After that, we discuss about the constructor overloading, right? In one class, you may have a multiple definitions of constructor. That is called the constructor overloading. And as you know, there is a operator overloading. Operator overloading. So the questions remains, what do you mean by operator overloading? Now, actually, operator overloading means one operator will perform the multiple tasks. Right? Take example, plus perform addition of two numeric data, as well as plus is used for concatenating two string. and this is called as overloading. Now many times the questions asked, Java won't support operator overloading. Actually, this is not the case. Java won't provide libraries to the developer to perform operator overloading. Means as a developer, you cannot enhance the functionality of the operator exist, because they already have a taken care of. They already provide you the overloaded operators. As I just said, if you use int a equals to 5, int b equal to 7, c equals to a plus b, you can perform addition. Okay, I'll prove that. Let's say int a equals to 5, b equals to 7. If you write int c equals to a plus b, here you are using plus operator to add the two integers. But if you write string str equals to axiom and string str1 equals to tech guru, and if you write str3 string str3 equals to str plus str1, what will happen? If you print str3, you will find axiom tech guru combinedly will be printed. What it means? Plus is a operator which is already overloaded to perform multiple things. You can add the two numeric data as well as you can perform the string concatenation also. But as a developer, I cannot add another functionality to the plus. That's why we are saying that Java is not supportive to the developer for performing operator overloading. You cannot overload the operators which already exist. But Java had already taken care and provided you the overloaded operator. Are you getting my point clear? Hello?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now we got the concept right about the overloading and overriding. Overriding is actually related to the inheritance, right? If the base class have the same signature of method, and by using the signature of the method of the base class, if you are redefining a method in a derived class, then that become a method overriding. So have you understood the difference between method overloading and method overriding?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now let us move to the next thing. Okay, that is many times they will ask you about the compile time polymorphism. And the runtime polymorphism. Are you getting it? So to get the best example of compile time polymorphism means you are writing the method definitions. Okay, you are writing the constructor definitions. As you know that whenever you compile your classes, okay, first then method definition, your constructor method overloading, constructor overloading, these are the examples of compile time polymorphism. But in case of runtime means dynamically, because whenever your overriding is an example of runtime polymorphism, or operator overloading, operator will perform, because in case of compile time only syntaxes will be checked. Are you agree with me? It will compile that code for the syntaxes, and after compilations it executes. So in case of compile time polymorphism, okay, the method overloading, constructor overloading means it will check the syntaxes of everything. But overriding means basically at the runtime it will establish the relationship between the base and derive. Okay, so it will, like, obviously runtime means the compile time. After completion of the compile time, then it go to the runtime. So operator overloading as well as your like overriding abstract methods, okay, are the examples of runtime polymorphism. Because as you know, whenever you create the object of derive, if you create the object of derive and if you give a call to the method, it will give a call to its own method firstly. Are you getting me? And if that method is not available in the derived class, then the call, then it will stick to the base class. So that is called as runtime polymorphism. At runtime, object firstly refers to itself, and if the copy is not available at its own class, then it will refer to the base one. So overriding means having a base class also having its own method, and at the same time derived class also having its own method by the same signature. Means what duplicate methods are available in the base class and duplicate method is available in the derived class, obviously different definition. So this become a runtime polymorphism. Hope you understand, guys.
Yes.
So in
So,
today's, yeah, go ahead.
so why we call compile time polymorphism as a earlier binding and
Yes,
runtime
yes, yes, yes,
polymorphism as a
yes.
late binding?
Correct. You're right. Late binding means what? At the runtime. Okay. Creation of object at runtime. Object will not create at the compile time. Compile time means only checking the syntaxes. It compile the code, develop the dot class file, and runtime means late binding means like actually object will get the memory at runtime, not compile time. So runtime polymorphism also called as late binding. Now what is called as like static memory allocation and dynamic memory allocation sort of, that is difference. Okay. So late
Means
binding
at
and
the
early binding is actually static, difference between the static and static and dynamic sort of. Dynamic means at the time of runtime, the object will get the memory. So in that manner, you can say early binding and late binding, this difference, static memory allocation and dynamic memory allocation difference, and compile time also and the runtime also. So probably compile time is referred to the early binding, and runtime means your late binding. Hope I answer this all the possible queries.
yes.
Yeah. So today's session, today's combined session is dedicated to the polymorphism. Now your polymorphism, we already discussed prior about the method overloading and constructor overloading. Now today I need to discuss about the method overriding. Now obviously constructor you cannot override, only the methods can be overridden. So how to, what do you mean by method overriding? Method overriding means if the base class have the same signature of method, and by using the signature of the method, if you can redefine the method in the derived class, so due to inheritance, the copy of method is available to the derived class. At the same time, derived having its own method definitions, then hence become a overriding. I had given you the example of an applet class. Applet is an abstract class which provides you the method called as pent, which you are overriding by writing your own class. I had given the example of a like a object class which provides you the method called as toString. If you want to print, if you want to convert the copy of your own object to the string, then you have to override the toString method. There are many more, right? So you are right. If you are extending your class from the thread class or implementing runnable interface, then you have to override the method called as run in thread. So in the similar manner, in the Java library, they provides you the abstract classes, and abstract classes consist abstract methods. And by using the signature of that method in the derived class, you are defining that all the methods, and that is called as method overriding. And then we discuss the concept of the compile time polymorphism and runtime polymorphism. Compile time polymorphism means at the time of compilation, right? There are two phases: compilation phase and the execution phase. Execution phase means runtime environment. As Ashwini rightly addressed, okay, late binding. Late binding means at the time of runtime environment, the memory allocation and all these steps are there. So it is related to the terminology is related actually to the dynamic memory allocation. So at the time of compilations, it checks the syntaxes, allocates the memory at the runtime over there. Just like I told you the example of operator overloading. Operator can be referred at the time of runtime. Then the signature of the methods will be referred at the runtime. So method overriding, operator overloading. Okay, and I already addressed about the operator overloading. In case of Java, operator overloading, you cannot write as a developer, you cannot overload any operators. But they had already taken care of that and given us the overload operator to us, and that is called as operator overloading. I had given you the example that few numeric data you can easily add by plus. At the same time, to string type of data, you can also add by plus. So the one plus operator is performing multiple tasks of adding numeric data as well as the string type of data, and that is called as overloading of operator one. So I
So
hope
one more
you,
question.
yeah, go ahead.
How many of operator we can overload?
No, actually, in case of Java, you cannot overload any operator, right? So you have to depend on that set of operators which are already overloaded. It's like in case of Java, because of the security reasons, they are not allowing you to overload the operators. But the programming like language like C++, you can overload all the operators. But in Java they are not allowing you. Okay, they as I said, they are not allowing you means they are allowing you to use it. They already use the already set of operators they are providing you for the overloading reasons, but they are not allowing you as a developer to overload the definition of already exist operators. But if you are talking about the C++ object programming reference over there, you can overload all the possible operators as per your requirement. Hope I answer this query.
Yes.
So I believe you understand this all about the polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, early binding, late binding, compile time polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, the difference between overloading and overriding. Okay, so I'll be connecting you with you again. Okay, in the chat window to give you some assignments related to that. And this is the combined sessions after some time. Okay, or like I'll be like, guiding you with the new sessions of your respective sessions. Right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay.